Low back pain after 60 is often spoken about as if it were an unavoidable milestone, something that arrives with age and settles in permanently. But the human body does not operate on such rigid rules. Pain is not a verdict, it is a message. And like all messages from the body, it is shaped by movement, nourishment, rest, and belief. The spine is not a lifeless column slowly wearing out. It is a living structure made of tissues that respond continuously to how they are used. Even later in life, these tissues remain capable of adapting, strengthening, and calming when they are given the right signals, and this understanding alone can shift how a person experiences pain. As we grow older, many people begin to move less, often out of fear that movement will worsen their discomfort. This reduction in movement sends an unintended message to the brain that the lower back is fragile and unsafe. In response, the nervous system increases muscle tension, limits mobility, and heightens pain sensitivity as a protective strategy. What feels like damage is often protection working overtime. When we introduce gentle, intelligent movement, we begin to rewrite that message. The brain learns that the lower back can move without harm, and as that sense of safety grows, pain often decreases, not because something was fixed, but because something was understood. Low back pain is also influenced by how the body distributes effort. When certain muscles become weak or inactive and others are forced to compensate, the spine absorbs stress it was never meant to handle alone. Over time, this imbalance contributes to discomfort and stiffness. Yet muscles do not lose their ability to respond simply because of age. They lose responsiveness because they're not being asked to participate in the right way. When the body is guided back into balanced movement, the load is shared again and the spine is relieved of unnecessary strain. This process does not require intensity, only consistency and awareness. Another important truth is that pain is shaped by the mind as much as by the body. Years of discomfort can quietly alter how a person sees themselves, turning pain into part of their identity. This belief can limit progress more than any physical restriction. When we understand that pain is information rather than a permanent label, we open the door to change. Each gentle movement becomes an experiment, each small improvement a reminder that the body is still listening and responding. Fixing low back pain after 60 is not about reversing time or chasing youth. It is about cooperating with biology as it exists now. The body does not demand perfection. It responds to care, patience, and repetition. When we see pain as a message instead of a sentence, we regain agency over our health. With the right approach, the spine can feel supported again, movement can feel natural again, and the body can rediscover a sense of trust that had simply been forgotten. The 4 essential exercises are not simply physical movements. They are a form of communication between the body and the brain. After years of pain or stiffness, the nervous system often becomes cautious, constantly scanning for threat and responding with tension and restriction. This protected response is not a flaw, but a survival mechanism that has stayed active for too long. The purpose of these exercises is to gently reassure the nervous system that the lower back is supported, capable, and safe to move again. When that reassurance is repeated consistently, the brain begins to lower its guard, and pain gradually loses its intensity. Trust between the brain and the body is built through experience, not force. Aggressive stretching or heavy strengthening can sometimes increase fear and discomfort, reinforcing the idea that movement is dangerous. The 4 exercises work in the opposite way. They emphasize slow, controlled motion, clear body awareness, and steady breathing. Each repetition becomes a calm signal of safety. Over time, this signal reshapes how the nervous system interprets sensations coming from the lower back. Movements that once felt threatening begin to feel neutral and eventually even comfortable. Mobility is the first layer of this trust. When the spine moves gently through a comfortable range, it reminds the brain that stiffness does not equal damage. Stability is the second layer. By activating the deep muscles that support the spine, the body creates an internal sense of security. This support is subtle yet powerful, reducing the need for excessive muscle tension that often contributes to pain. Strength follows naturally, not as brute force, but as efficiency. Muscles learn to share the workload, allowing the spine to move with less effort and strain. Completes the picture by improving how the brain senses the body and space. As balance improves, the nervous system becomes more confident in its ability to respond to change. This confidence reduces the constant low-level tension that many people carry in their lower backs without realizing it. With better balance and posture, the body no longer braces unnecessarily, and movement feels smoother and more coordinated. What makes these 4 exercises especially effective is that they mirror the movements of daily life. They prepare the body for standing, walking, bending, and reaching, rather than isolating muscles in unnatural ways. This relevance helps the brain apply the sense of safety and support learned during exercise to real-world activities. Over time, this integration changes not just how the body moves, but how it feels throughout the day. Rebuilding trust between the brain and the lower back is not an instant process. It unfolds gradually through repetition and patience. Each gentle movement reinforces the idea that the body is resilient and capable. As trust returns, fear diminishes, tension eases, and the lower back is no longer treated as a fragile area to be protected at all costs, but as a reliable part of the body that can once again support confident, comfortable movement. Light, consistent exercise has a unique power, especially after 60, because it works with the body rather than against it. When movement is gentle and regular, it sends calming signals to the nervous system, telling it that the environment is safe and predictable. This sense of safety is essential for reducing pain. Many people assume that pain relief comes only from rest or strong interventions, but the body often responds better to steady, low-intensity movement that maintains circulation, joint nutrition, and muscular coordination. The lower back, in particular, thrives on movement that is smooth and controlled, not sudden or forceful. Breathing plays a central role in this process. Slow, intentional breathing influences the nervous system directly, shifting it out of a heightened alert state and into a calmer, more restorative mode. When breathing is shallow or rushed, muscles tend to tighten, especially around the spine. With calm breathing, muscles soften, blood flow improves, and tension gradually releases. When breathing is paired with gentle exercise, it creates a rhythm that the body recognizes as safe, allowing movement to feel less threatening and more natural. Consistency is what turns these small signals into lasting change. One session of light exercise may bring temporary relief, but repeated daily movement rewires how the brain interprets sensation. Over time, the nervous system learns that movement does not lead to harm, and it stops amplifying pain signals unnecessarily. This is especially important for older adults, as long gaps between activity can increase stiffness and sensitivity. Even a few minutes of movement each day can prevent the cycle of tension and discomfort from rebuilding itself. Another benefit of light exercise is that it improves body awareness. As movements are performed slowly, attention naturally turns inward. People begin to notice how they hold tension, how they shift their weight, and how their posture affects comfort. This awareness leads to small adjustments in daily life, such as standing more evenly or moving more smoothly when bending or turning. These subtle changes reduce strain on the lower back without conscious effort. Gentle movement also supports the health of the tissues themselves. Muscles receive oxygen and nutrients, joints are lubricated, and the discs of the spine benefit from the natural pumping action created by movement. This internal nourishment cannot occur through rest alone. The body is designed to heal through motion, provided that motion is respectful of its limits. When light exercise becomes a habit rather than a task, it changes the relationship a person has with their body. Movement stops being something to fear or avoid and becomes a source of reassurance. With each calm, controlled session, stiffness softens, confidence grows, and the lower back feels less like a vulnerable area and more like a supported, responsive part of the body that can handle daily life with greater ease. The way the body heals and manages pain is deeply influenced by the internal environment created through food and daily habits. A healthy diet is not simply about weight or appearance, especially after 60. It is about giving the body the raw materials it needs to repair tissues, calm inflammation, and support the nervous system. Low back pain is often intensified by chronic, low-grade inflammation, which can be affected by what we eat every day. When meals are built around whole, natural foods, the body is better equipped to regulate inflammatory responses and support the structures of the spine. Adequate protein plays an important role in maintaining muscle strength and repair. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at preserving muscle mass, which can lead to weakness and instability around the spine. Regular intake of quality protein helps maintain the muscles that support posture and movement, reducing unnecessary strain on the lower back. Alongside protein, healthy fats support joint health and nerve function, while fruits and vegetables provide antioxidants that protect tissues from ongoing stress. Hydration is equally important, as spinal discs rely on fluid to maintain their cushioning ability, and even mild dehydration can contribute to stiffness and discomfort. Lifestyle habits quietly reinforce or undermine these nutritional benefits. Long hours of sitting, common in modern life, can tighten the hips and overload the lower back, regardless of age. Breaking up sitting time with short walks or gentle stretches helps maintain mobility and circulation. Sleep is another critical factor. During deep rest, the body carries out much of its repair work, regulating hormones and calming pain pathways. Poor sleep can heighten pain sensitivity, making existing discomfort feel more intense and persistent. Simple habits such as consistent sleep times and a calming evening routine can significantly influence how the body feels the next day. Stress management is often overlooked, but plays a powerful role in back pain. Emotional stress activates the same nervous system pathways that influence muscle tension and pain perception. When stress becomes chronic, the body remains in a state of guardedness, especially around vulnerable areas like the lower back. Gentle daily routines, time outdoors, and moments of stillness can help reset this response, allowing muscles to relax and healing processes to function more effectively. When nutrition and lifestyle habits support the body consistently, movement becomes easier and more rewarding. Exercise no longer feels like a battle against stiffness, but a natural extension of daily care. The body begins to respond with improved energy, reduced tension, and greater resilience. In this environment, the lower back is no longer constantly fighting against poor recovery and hidden stressors, but is supported from the inside out, allowing discomfort to gradually soften and movement to feel more natural and dependable again. A positive and patient mindset has a profound influence on how the body experiences pain and recovery, especially later in life. When low back pain lingers for months or years, it can quietly reshape the way a person thinks about movement, creating a sense of caution or even fear. This mental shift often happens without awareness, yet it plays a powerful role in keeping pain alive. The body listens closely to the mind, and when movement is approached with anxiety or doubt, muscles tend to tighten in anticipation, reinforcing discomfort before motion even begins. Changing this pattern does not require ignoring pain or pretending it does not exist. It requires reframing the relationship with pain. Instead of seeing discomfort as a warning that something is wrong, it can be viewed as feedback from a system that has become overly protective. This perspective creates space for curiosity rather than fear. Each gentle movement becomes an opportunity to learn how the body responds, and each small success builds confidence.
Over time, confidence reduces the need for the nervous system to stay on high alert, and pain often becomes less intense and less frequent. Patience is essential in this process. The body does not unlearn years of protective habits in a few days. Expecting immediate results can lead to frustration, which itself increases stress and tension. When progress is measured in small changes, such as improved ease of movement or shorter recovery time after activity, motivation is easier to sustain. Recognizing these subtle improvements reinforces the belief that change is happening, even when pain has not completely disappeared. A positive and patient mindset also encourages consistency. When movement is seen as an act of self-care rather than a test of endurance, it becomes easier to maintain. Gentle exercises, daily walks, and mindful breathing are no longer chores, but rituals that support well-being. This shift in attitude transforms routine into purpose, strengthening the connection between effort and outcome. Over time, the body responds to this steady care with increased trust and resilience. Self-compassion plays a crucial role as well. Aging often comes with comparisons to the past, which can create feelings of loss or frustration. Letting go of unrealistic expectations allows the body to be appreciated for what it can do now. This acceptance reduces internal resistance and opens the door to improvement. When the mind supports the body instead of criticizing it, movement becomes smoother and more confident. Ultimately, a positive and patient mindset does not remove all challenges, but it changes how they are experienced. It empowers older adults to stay engaged with their bodies, to move despite uncertainty, and to believe in their capacity to adapt. In this supportive mental environment, low back pain loses its dominance, and the individual regains a sense of control, dignity, and optimism that allows movement and daily life to feel meaningful and manageable again.